track's got a lot of potential, eh?
Yeah, it's cool.
Just a shame we don't get here more often.
We're at Dubbo tonight, which is about, I think, 4.5, 5 hours northwest of Sydney. Inland, it's a little country town. It's got about, I think, 40-odd thousand people, a little bit bigger than Warrnambool. Cool little speedway here. I've only raced here once. It's been probably about 8 years since I was last here. I think the track's got a lot of potential. It's called Morris Park Speedway. Tonight I'm filming with Sam Walsh. He always runs really well, so the 92 car should be fun to follow. And they're actually just grading it right now. It actually looks like there's not much water in it, so hopefully they can load some water in it. We've also got some hats, some of these new black hats that are available on the website, so make sure you check them out.
Go to the infield and park your car.
You wanna just wheel me out so the quad can come and get me, and you can go. One of you can go and look after Bubba if he needs anything. Yeah. You'll have to kind of tell Ferg that we all have to park somewhere.
All right. Straight. Turn 3, they're coming in a bit too low and making a wash across the track. Just be careful as we see, because if you slide through the black shit, you know, you've got a truck behind you. get into one high?
Well, I just think it's the track. For some reason, you come out at 2, and if you run high out at 2, it just sucks you to the bed, just like powder.
Yeah.
And then
Here?
and then in here, if you go in high, it just sort of rolls over on the right rear, like as if it's just all loose.
Yeah.
But you can go in high to 1 and diamond down across and just drive up to the fence at 3, and then you kind of shortcut 3 and slide out because you can run out of here high.
Yeah. Where'd Hobbo Park?
Right behind us.
Oh.
The only thing I've just noticed, the only thing I've just noticed in the track was, if anything.
Are they counting that as qualifying?
What's that?
Are they counting that?
I think so, yeah.
You had no idea?
No, I just thought it was hot laps. Track's got a lot of potential, eh?
Yeah, it's cool.
Just a shame we don't get here more often.
Did it? Yeah. I want to take.
No, it's time trials, man.
Just grab the. Where's the fucking quad?
Here, looking for the car, you fucking dope.
When was the last time you ran?
Eastern Creek, practice.
Yeah. And you ran at Lismore a little while ago?
We did, yeah. We were at Lismore in, I guess that was late November, and that's it for the last 2 years, basically.
And have you been to Dubbo before?
Yes, been here. Actually, funnily enough, I've been here within the last 12 months to drive a Formula 500. I did about all of a total of 1 lap, and the motor expired, so didn't get much experience. But I have been here but probably not for 5 or 6 years or so, roughly.
What's the plan for this season, even though we're most of the way through it?
Just pick up whatever's left, really. I mean, we've been ready to go for 2 years, but waiting for things to kind of cool off and blow over a little bit COVID-wise. I mean, naturally now we're sort of fairly free to move around wherever we like, interstate and all that sort of thing, but at the same time, we sort of want to run at home before we go anywhere else, if nothing else, just to get some laps in. So, yeah, we kind of made the decision over Christmas not to go anywhere, just to wait it out and get going with local racing first.
What's the deal with the car next door?
Car next door, that's my old Maxim. So a mate of mine, Brett Hobson, that I've known since go-karts, I don't know, 20 years or so, probably more. He just wanted to have a go. So he's just going to have a few runs in this car at least to begin with and dip his feet in the water, and I think he's pretty pumped. He had a bit of a grin on his face after that little hot lap session earlier on. So yeah, I think he's going to be bitten by the bug.
What was the track like?
Not bad. It just seems like the outside of 2 and the outside of 3 have like a tendency to not hold the car, whereas 1 and 4 you can get up into the stuff like the fluff on the outside and roll and run in on it, and you can come off 4 in it. But if you try to do it around 1 and 2 and follow it around the cushion as such, there's not a lot there to hold you out of 2, and the same goes for 3. If you get into it too hard into 3, it kind of just floats on top of the marbles, you know.
Is that there being no proper cushion to lean on, or the shape of the track?
I don't know. I don't know if maybe it's just I don't know which way the sun goes down here, but maybe the back straight gets more sun in the afternoon than the main straight. Actually, now I think about it, that might be the case. So maybe that sort of bakes out of 2 and into 3. I don't know. That's all I can sort of think of. But because I shouldn't say that because I know 2's a little bit flat getting off on the outside. It sort of doesn't keep that bowl effect, but 3 kind of does have that bowl. So I don't know what the deal was there, but I guess it's just the track's just not bound together that well.
You know where you're at?
Pole in heat 2, and then I guess we were like, I'm not even sure about the second heat, but pole in heat 2, and then the second round of heats. I don't think it's a invert and a lane change, so we'll be out of 8 or something, roughly, I guess.
You didn't even know it was qualifying?
No. I was expecting that we were going to come in after that hot lap session and then do qualifying, but it wasn't as if I was just cruising around. I was sort of having a go, so I probably would have gone maybe. Who knows? I probably would have crashed if I tried any harder. It was good getting into 1 and nice going into 1 through the middle of 1 and 2, and actually coming off 2 on the bottom there. Good, just went into 1, and then just had to roll back
a little bit
to
going.
get off 2, and then down the back straight, and then 3. Like I say,
Goofy.
3 was the sort of bogey.
Yeah. Everyone's a bit funny around there. Yeah.
I tried to go in there once,
bit higher?
and it just rolled
Started
straight up.
to roll up.
Well, there was no, I couldn't hold my foot on.
Yeah.
It was just had nothing there.
Do you think it needs more right rear weight?
No, I just think the track's dirty. And not, well, I mean, the cars out before us would have had a better track, the slick part.
Oh, sure,
yeah. So I was going in above where they were probably running,
right.
or at least trying to lean on what was on the outside, and it wasn't. There was nothing to lean on. It was just fluff, but it wasn't sticky fluff. It was just crumbly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's in. Okay, so we're in different heats on the second round. He's in the first heat in the second round, and we're in off the back of there. Yep. Okay. Cool.
Ready?
Excellent.
Well, good. My little fella wants to come and sit in your car at the end of the night.
No dramas.
He's sitting at the fence waving at you every
Bring
time
it
you
out.
go.
Yeah.
I'll bring him down at the end.
No worries.
All we can do is do this.
Yeah.
Probably be able to take this wicker off when it goes dark. And we're in the first heat of the next one, aren't we? So we're in the second heat now. We're in the second heat. They haven't fucking done a lap yet. Maybe just roll your wing back to forward, Sam, when you get out there, don't forget. He's black.
Yeah, right.
Now, Madsen's out there running through the black. Right through the middle of the black. One of the gearings tried to run around the top, stuck her in the fence. It's just marbles. So I just told Watsy, just stay on the black, and you'll probably get you'll probably pass a couple of cars just from
Nipping at the bottom.
Yeah.
Is he even nipping at the bottom, or is he just driving right through the black?
middle.
Is he put more in?
Yeah, up to half. No, I didn't put it in. I still got half off the blocks.
Well, when you change tag,
No, I haven't touched it. No.
Right, he's about to go out for heat 1. I think he's off pole. We're about to push out now, but yeah, exciting to see what happens here. It's pretty cool to see all the changes and stuff that different teams and drivers and what they make and kind of how they go about their racing. I'm probably going to hope that I don't go back to racing because I get to hear some of what they do now. But no, it's really cool to, like I said, to hear how they go about it and what each driver likes to change. It's pretty slick out there from what I'm hearing the crew saying. So they're trying to just get the car to be on the right rear a bit more, changing up with shocks, and you'll see that the wicker bill was put on and little bits and pieces like that, tire pressures and maybe moving wheels in and out, you know, taking stagger out. It's all kind of basic stuff that teams and drivers do, but you know, what order and how far they go with it is all kind of up to their discretion. So either way, it should be a good heat race.
Hard on tyres.
Take us through the heat race. You just at the start, or not happy?
Look, I don't know. I mean, the way they make the starts, they change the rules on the starts so often. And look, I mean, obviously, I haven't been racing a lot lately either. But, you know, look, we went down the main straight kind of together. I guess, you know, in most cases you would call it a barely even start. But they want you to go on the line. And, I mean, you and I both know no one waits for the line. You know what I mean? It's kind of who goes first, closest to the line, without making it look too bad. You know, and look, there's always an art to the starts naturally. But in saying that, I think out wider, I think the track was actually starting to lay a little bit of rubber, and I didn't know that. I didn't get much of a roll up because a push car pulled out in front of me as I was trying to start. So I ended up starting on the back straight and pulling straight out into the field basically. So I didn't really get a feel of the track so much. Not that that's much of an excuse, but I think he had a bit more grip to take off with.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah. Well, I think the track had rubber on it. So.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely more abrasive that heat even than the first heat.
Abrasive?
No, abrasive.
Oh, abrasive.
Yeah, it got harder.
I was going to say, holy cow. If that's racier than the first heat, that's the same stuff.
All right, this tyre's got to go, and that tyre's got to come off. And we'll have to change. Do you need any gear change, or your gear's all right?
It just make it too hard to drive.
Yeah, right, okay. Hobbo will get another heat out of his,
Yeah.
but our two back tyres.
Did it kill the right rear as well?
Both ruined. Brand new tyre. That's what I say. We get the shit so bad, I can't understand why they run a B grade meeting and put on a A grade bunch of cars
with 25 support classes and starts at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Like, there's a tyre shortage in the whole country.
Well, I think we should can the second round of heats. No,
Well,
we're only going to go out and burn another
what
pair of
are we even running it for? Yeah, another set of tyres to please
because they're
them.
not going to fix the track unless they literally
they're going to have to tear it up.
Cut it. Yeah. So unless they do that, it's not going to change.
You're going to go and see him?
Yeah.
What are you going
Are
to
you
say?
going?
Well, I think you've got to get.
I think you've got to say we're feature race only. It's finished.
Just like,
That's finished.
yeah.
How new were they?
That was a brand new tyre. Well, it's best settled because what I'm deciding is if we can't do 10, we can't do 30.
Oh, that's right.
And now I'm trying to work out how I'm going to do it.
Right? Well, how about
They
you
go
go on?
to
Go
work,
on.
it's
Go
all-
on.
He said,
Go on. Go on.
told me he was going to scratch at the guy that's working.
Yeah, they are going to do all that. They're going to do it before the win was hit. But if we're carrying them up in 10 laps, we're not going to do 30.
That's right.
So now I'm considering, do we do twin 15? We can the second heat. We do twin 15.
Finished job.
And everybody can put one on at half time.
We're still burning tyres.
Oh,
Still 2 tyres. I'd rather can the heat.
I'd drop a heat
why don't
race.
we do a
You're not
20?
going to make the feature.
Don't have a
20 lap
feature. Just have a 20
Let's do a
lap
20 lap
feature.
feature or something.
Why not give the
Sorry,
beginner blokes?
to the minor.
Why not give the beginner blokes
The
a
heat.
feature race,
Yeah.
and take the top 16 and give them give
20
them
lap.
both a 20 lap feature race. The beginner blokes get to learn without worrying
Without
about
worrying
these
about
blokes
fast
running over them.
I'm usually bed by 8.
I won't make it up.
It sucks because this place could be
I know.
a lot of fun. I mean, look, it is. It's
It's not a bad track.
Hot laps was good. The heat race was a bit.
Shitty. Well, you can't do
Well, you
nothing.
just know. I knew I was tearing the tyres on it.
And then a couple of laps later, 2 laps later, that sneller went underneath.
What I'm concerned, what the main concern around the consensus of the test is, guys don't want to go wasting 2 sets of tyres.
If they rework it,
That's worth it.
then we have the B main to help the track,
See what it looks like.
help get the track settled in.
Rework it, run the D, and then
Run the B where the second round
Run the B,
heats would
and then,
have been.
then it's going to track's going to be ran in. Sun will go down. You never know.
Mind you, when he does work it, can he send a wingless or something else out first?
He is doing it. He's working it now before the wheel.
Like I've been here when it's been like this, and then they've reworked it. Sun's gone down, and then it's a pterodome. So
I'm going to him and saying we can in the second round of heats.
Yep.
Where the second round of heats was, we'll run a B after they do a work track for us.
Yep.
Then we'll see how that results. as to what length we're going to make the A main, and we want the track worked again before the A main.
I'd say 25 or 20 should be our option for
Are
an
you
A.
comfortable with that?
Yeah.
Now, lining up the A, do you want to do it on the results of the first 2 heats, or just use 2 sets of points?
What do you mean 2 sets of points?
Well, I've got points in quality and points in
Yeah, join your quality and your heat points together.
But in your rows, start in the rows.
No, points will
Determine when you go. Points and determine your tied points on who qualified better.
All right, everybody comfortable? That's what we got.
Well, I don't think anybody can bitch too hard. We're at Dubbo for $1,000.
I thought he said you as well. Fucking rock. Or something. Oh, look at that. Went right through all the tear off. What is it? Oh, like a... That was in hot laps.
Oh, you saw it?
Oh, look, open your visor. I think it even got into the visor itself. It was solid.
I think Rocket sells them.
Hey?
I think Rocket sells them.
Yeah. I think I got a spare.
Yeah. So a lot of teams and drivers are switching between American Racers and Hoosiers. What is the idea behind that?
I'll be honest, we got them cheaper. That's the only real reason.
Do you have a different feel?
Mate, honestly, a lot of people change between them, even on the fly. Like, they'll qualify on an American Racer because they feel like maybe it works a little better early on, and then they'll go to a Hoosier later on. Yeah. Well, you were one of the guys we used to watch do it. You know,
Yeah, okay.
Between you and Fari used to do it a lot.
Yeah.
There's other guys obviously that used to do it, and we always ran Hoosiers, and I got nothing wrong with Hoosiers naturally, but difference-wise, particularly like in your situation, I guess you ran races just on the right rear at times. Hey, you never used their left rears.
Yeah.
I found the biggest difference was between the left rears, where a lot of people said the right rears felt different. I can't actually. I went from Hoosiers at the end of one season and started the next season on an American Racer, so I didn't sort of notice so much of a difference. But I straight away felt like the left rears were different. I felt like the left rears didn't grow like the Hoosiers did, so we kind of had to obviously fine tune around that a little bit to get the car to kind of stand up and drive off the corner. We felt like the car just buried left too much.
Also, I think the Hoosier is tapered.
Yeah, for sure.
The American Racer
it's just like a
yeah.
square for a start. Yeah.
But you've also got the option between a 17 and an 18.
Yes.
Still?
Yeah. We've only been running the 17 so far. We've never tried the 18. Wanted to, just we haven't been racing a lot lately, so it's been tough.
Yeah.
But
it's good to hear because, like, I mean, although I did it last couple of years when I was racing, I kind of see that people were running American Races because you had to with World Series.
Yes. Yeah. At the time. Yeah.
Now, that's why I ask you is because it's such a common
there's more of a
thing
mix
between everyone. You're not forced to do it, but yet every team that I've been going to, all different tracks, all different states, they're doing it everywhere.
And look, to be fair, in saying that, we're getting our arse handed to us every year by Sweet, generally for a good few years there, whether it was in the Roos Brothers car or Mark's own car, and he'd run American Races. You know, Larson turned up, he'd run American Races. Kerry was out here on American Races, you know, like, so why not, you know?
Alright, so you guys have probably seen from all the other footage that it's been a little bit of a shit fight trying to work out how many more laps the sprint cars should do. Obviously there's a lot of fans here. Sprint cars don't race at Dubbo very often at all. I think someone was saying actually the last time sprint cars were here was when I raced here and ran third. So it has been a while. It's good to see sprint cars back, but at the same time, because the track prep wasn't the greatest, it's also windy, which I think is majorly underestimated as far as how much of an impact the wind has, but also being the tail end of summer, it's hot. They've got a few support classes. Like I said, I don't think the track prep was the greatest. Really, it was just a matter of not having enough water in it, and then straight away in the heat races, even during the hot lap qualifying session, you could just see how dry the track just went instantly. So the teams and cars are struggling to keep tyres on the track. There's a massive tyre shortage. Doesn't matter if it's American Racers or Hoosiers, doesn't matter if you're a big budget team or a low budget team. There's just, you can't buy tyres because there are no tyres. So everyone's trying to save tyres. So the way the format is it's meant to be a second round of heats. And like I said, as you've seen in the in the video that we got, you know, teams and the officials are chatting to work out what's the best mix of how many laps there's going to be. So it looks like we're going to have 6 cars go out for a B main. Not quite sure how many laps that is, but that's about to go out. Sam's already in the A main, but as you can see with the tyres, we can come up here. So you can see here, these are some of the tyres. These were brand new just before Sam went out for his heat race, and as you can see, they're almost down to the canvas. You got the side of the block, which has just got a feather on it, and then you've got also this other tyre here, which is his right rear. It's American Racer. You can see it's all, the blocks are completely worn out, and they're feathered all the way around. You can't run that for another race. So the idea is that they're trying to find the right mixture of, do we do another heat race? Well, we're just going to tear up hundreds of dollars worth of tyres, and not every team can afford that. And the tyres aren't there, so if you want to race next week or later on in the season, we're only in February, then you're going to really struggle to get tyres at all. So again, what they've come up with is that we're just going to run features. It's pretty late in the night now. I think it's almost 9 o'clock, but obviously the sun's gone down. It's a lot cooler. The wind's still there, but they've cut the second round of heats, and we're just going to have the B main, and we're going to take 4 cars out of the 6 from that, which I think they should just take all 6, to be honest. The cars that are going to miss out are going to be the ones that need it the most. And then you've obviously got Sam, who's in the feature race, and hopefully the track holds up and we can actually have a decent feature race.
Probably one of the early guys that changes their visor bolts from steel to tyre.
When?
I just change them all over. Because the Simpsons come with steel bolts now.
Why tyre bolts?
So I just put tyre bolts
Well,
on.
it's lightest helmet.
Well, actually, to be honest,
no paint.
it pisses me off because the ones they give you, I think either a flat blade or like a Phillips head. I just rather have a hex.
I used to use a 10-cent piece to
do them up
because I narrow.
Yep.
But yeah, that's how I do it.
Yeah.
Do you adjust your tear off?
I do it all before I come.
Yeah. I never moved them. I had it set up so it was like the right tension where they were like, the tear off was stretched.
Yeah, you can still get them on.
But it was like the perfect tension. Like
I don't know why, I just forget. I guess because I've always had, you know, it's just a family deal.
Yeah.
And I've never had like a full crew that do everything for you.
Yeah.
So I've just always been like, it just shits me that I'm like, I don't want to be doing tear offs in a rush, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'd rather just change visors. I'm like, it's 4 bolts, do them up tight, they're done. You don't have to worry about them being loose or because you haven't adjusted them right or whatever.
Got like, do you like get a few visors ready?
Yeah. I've usually got a helmet each, like one helmet with a set of tear offs on it, another helmet ready to go, and probably a spare visor.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I always think it's funny to see like guys that've been racing for years and they're adjusting their posts, and I'm like, well, what? You don't know you don't need to do that.
I'm weirdo for the other reason that I hold both sides.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because there's a couple of times where, you know, heavy Parramatta, and like you'll get something that like a clump of clay or something will stick it, and you're like searching for it.
You can't get it.
You can't get it. I'm like,
you won't
okay,
get it.
at least I can get the other side.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, we had to put basically had to put a new tyre on our car. We're forced to put a new tyre on our car because the other car's right rear was wore out, so we had to kind of give the second-hand tyre we were going to use to him, and we're just going to put a new tyre on.
we just terrible. I didn't want to wear the tyres down. We're going backwards, and like I say, we've got 2 brand new tyres on. I want to save them, so that is what it is. You're going to stay in Sam Walsh.
Another fun night of racing. Sam just wasn't good in the feature, and also our main camera decided not to work just before the feature rolled out, so not a real fun ending. Either way, I know a lot of other drivers, and including myself, really think that Dubbo Speedway, with a few changes, is capable of holding some major sprint car shows, which is pretty exciting for the sport. For now though, we'll move on to Sydney next week. If you watch this video, I guarantee you'll love these. Make sure you also subscribe to us on YouTube and find us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. And if you want high quality sprint car racing merchandise, we have exactly that over on sprintcarhub.com.